We are here to talk about after AGI, but we know that there's no consensus on the AGI definition. So first, I would like to ask you all, what's your concept about AGI and how close are we to achieving it? Vita.
Well, we are definitely very, very close to achieving AGI. It could happen, the next month. So what's the definition? It is very important for everyone to understand. And the definition is that AGI should be able to solve a wide range of different tasks in wide range of different environments, and it should be limited in the resources. So, yeah.
Okay, great definition. Alexey?
Well, the definition of intelligence in the context of AGI field as something which is capable of solving a wide variety of problems in complex, wide range of environments with a limited amount of resources is classical and basically correct. But with the emergence of LLMs, we would actually like to make some features of AGI clearer. For example, LLMs can solve quite a wide variety of tasks, but maybe even wider than some humans, possibly. But we still don't want to call LLMs an AGI. Why? Because they are trained on a very wide range of data, and they can solve the problems which are covered by this data, but they intrinsically cannot solve really novel problems. And this is quite clear from the computer science perspective, because LLMs are doing bottom-up processing of data. At best, they are quadratic on the input lengths. And if you present them a novel NP-complete task, for example, they, in principle, computationally will not be able to do this. And this causes different consequences for their practical limitations. We are not discussing them now. But what matters is the ability to solve really new problems. And novel scientific discovery, novel NP-complete problem or something like this. This novelty is covered by the wide range of environments and so on, but it's not actually emphasized. So I would like to emphasize for AGI this ability to solve really novel problems.
Mohannad?
Well, very, very briefly, I'm approaching this from a sort of less academic perspective and actually thinking about artificial general intelligence in the context of the application in the business world. And I think the stuff that's being developed in the labs and in research is very sophisticated and advanced. And I think the stuff that the actual business world needs requires far less sophistication. So from my perspective, the application of a generic intelligence for the business world is already here. Having this generic capability of being able to chat with a bot and it being able to reply to you and do the thing. That's already what we're doing.
Vita, what AGI cannot do? Are there limits?
Oh, it's such a hard question, actually. Well, there are definitely some restrictions in our physical world. We cannot predict everything, just like weather forecasting. We cannot predict weather more than, 3 days with 100% assurance that it will be the way that we predict. So, yes, so the restriction is in its predictivity. So, Yeah, it is because not every process in our physical world is predictable. And we cannot build these models. And maybe in some future, we will build artificial super intelligence that could modify itself and predict whatever we want it to predict. It could figure out by itself how to modify its code and to solve any kind of problems. But artificial general intelligence would not be able to solve any kind of problem.
Okay. Alexey, when we talk about AGI, people used to think about not only the hard problems, but emotions, soft skills. Is this important for AGI?
Are you talking about emotions or any senses? Yeah. So basically, if we talk about, for example, current trend in making LLMs multimodal, then it seems like a good step further. But basically, I would like to mention that there are deaf, blind, mute persons from birth, and they are capable of evolving a fully functional intelligence. It is much harder. It requires some additional efforts from their teachers, but it is still possible to evolve such an intelligence. And what really necessary is not just to have a lot of sensory information, but to construct world models to operate over this. And in principle, it could be possible to have just one binary sensor and to reconstruct the world model out of it. It will be infeasible practically because such an agent will not survive, but it is possible theoretically. So multimodality, different sensors are important, but not that critical for intelligence and for AGI. And the same is true for emotions. So you can have a very basic motivation system for intelligence, and intelligence itself is partly orthogonal to these components. However, if we are going to the practical real world, we find out that emotions are very good heuristics for estimating quality of situations and so on. And if you want an AGI to operate in a social environment, then for sure emotions will be very important. So the question is not that strict.
Mohannad, you are CEO of an automation tasks company. What's your vision about the future of work? Are we going to be fully replaced by machines?
Oh boy. So we develop software to help organizations create digital versions of their processes and automate tasks being executed. And we're one of many companies that are doing this. One of the key metrics that our clients measure is this thing called cost avoidance. How much less money are we now, not spending on delivering the products and services for our clients? That's the KPI of the industry. What do you think the cost avoidance comes at the expense of? It comes at the expense of human resources. And so companies are already at this intersection of using automation, which we produce, to help get rid of more people in the workforce to produce more profit. The moment that you now give them a technology that's capable of doing more and is, relatively inexpensive to deploy and has this generic capabilities to do from menial tasks to creative tasks to more complex tasks, that will absolutely cause a mass displacement in the workforce. I think we're already seeing it, and I think that rate will accelerate much quicker than the world is ready for. It's a tremendously concerning time, but I also think this is a tremendous opportunity for us as a human race to actually come together and do something about it. I think this is actually more of an opportunity than it is a problem.
And for you, Vita, what are the key opportunities or risks when we achieve AGI?
Well, okay, let's imagine we have AGI. It could happen very soon. So I think that everyone is afraid of its power. And actually, I think that all these fears are well defined, as AGI is a super powerful tool. It could be more powerful than human brain, and it actually can kill us all. So the risks, yes. So basically, the risks are to kill everyone, but it actually depends on how we do it. And we, as SingularityNET, we care of this power and the humanity to stay on the earth. So for us to solve this problem, we are aiming to build beneficial general intelligence, which means that everyone would benefit from the creation of it. So the humanity would benefit, artificial intelligence would benefit, we know how to do this. And the answer is decentralization.
Alexey, do you agree? Do you think those big tech companies, they are measuring risks, or they just want to earn more money?
Well, yeah, I would say I agree in general that there are risks, but the issue is that from our point of view, AGI is inevitable. And if human race will not get rid out of itself by itself, right? We cannot prevent this, but we can shape the future, how the AGI will be created. So we shouldn't focus on what will happen in bad case scenarios, but we should focus on how we can arrive to better scenarios. And of course, decentralization is one approach to mitigate risks for power corruption in the case of centralized control over AGI and the process of its creation. So yes, I agree in general.
And do you believe it's possible to have a decentralized AGI? How?
Well, it's not just possible, it's very desirable. I would say that decentralized AGI, it's in the first place about the decentralization of process of its creation and governance. And it's about decentralized network of humans. And only in the second place, it's about technology. Of course, decentralized technology adds some overheads for creating AGI, but it also adds some capabilities, because if you consider the creation of decentralized network, then much more people could contribute, and actually the community, all the humankind could compete with big tech companies, because there are much more people in all the humankind than in these companies. So if we organize the process of creation of AGI in a decentralized way, and we use the right tech stack for bringing into practice, like blockchain technology, reputation systems, and so on, then yes, a decentralized AGI is possible. One more thing, if we don't want an AGI creation to be controlled by a single entity, we may also want an AGI to also have no single control center. It's already more about its internal architecture? And it's an interesting question, but there is a multi-agent approach which works fine and well known. So yes, it's possible for sure.
Mohannad, in the case of generative AI, people used to think about add things to creative, but we can also think in terms of process, save money and time. And what's your vision about this near future towards to AGI?
It's evolving very, very rapidly. And so what we saw was it started off with the basic menial tasks, the generative piece, the creative piece. I think what we're starting to see is something truly remarkable where now it starts to get involved on the strategy side of things. Its ability to be able to consume inputs at speeds that are much, much faster than most people would be able to do it, and then spin up different types of strategies. The moment that it starts to enter the strategic realm and to be able to execute on those strategies, that's when I believe you start entering and sort of putting it on a collision course with humans. Who's making a better decision? Is there a world in which we have a president AI who's making better decisions for certain governments and countries than certainly all of our current failed leaders in the world are proving right now? And so I think that this strategic component starts to become really interesting. The creative is already appearing in certain elements of what we see in the day-to-day, whether it's marketing or and so on. You're starting to see vertical applications in things like reading financial news, for instance, and making decisions about which stocks to buy or which cryptocurrencies to trade. So it's entering things that are happening day to day. I did want to add one thing to this whole idea of risk being death. How many people here want to die? Zero. Right? Like, I hope it's zero anyways. And I think that a lot of the companies that are building this technology is also being run by humans. And so I think at the end of the day, for as much as there's a general risk around this being existential, I just don't think that that's something that we should be worried about today. I think we're going to figure it out as a human race. And there's just this really incredible opportunity to use this jumping point right now, to use this technology to figure out all the bugs that we have in this current version of the software of the human race and fix it for the better using this technology.
Okay, a philosophical question for all of you. Will AGI redefine our concept of intelligence or life? Vita.
So the request is to...
Should we have to rethink the concept of intelligence because AGI?
Okay, do you exactly know what intelligence is? I'm not sure that everyone would agree in this whole what the definition of intelligence itself. And people who are developing AGI and any kind of super intelligent system, which is more than just applied to any field, any single field. So what is intelligence? We cannot define it right now, actually.
I have a simple one. To use the right tools to achieve a goal. That's my definition of intelligence. It's simple, but...
Okay. So I know if everyone disagree with this definition, but yeah, we should definitely think collectively on this. So the more people are involved, the more precise is definition, because everyone should contribute. Everyone should disagree what we have, to argue with what we have, to contribute their wisdom in what we actually have. So there are so many possibilities for everyone to contribute, and especially, what we are doing open source system, and everyone is welcome to participate. And that is exactly how this intelligence will be built. And the definition should include the word collective.
Alexey?
So the question is about will we rethink what the intelligence is with the creation of AGI? It's an interesting question because on the one hand, we have quite a good and consistent understanding of what intelligence is in terms of problem solving, goal achievement, and such other stuff. And we don't know all the details of how it would be created, but at the same time, we observe some emergent phenomena which go beyond our initial understanding of this. And for example, not many people believe that, say, LLMs could be trained in such a way that they will be really capable of simulating or showing natural language understanding, because it was thought of as an AGI complete task, meaning that you cannot do this without creating real AGI. And this is not the first case. We observed it before for other similar tasks or domains. So we see that some things can be done in a different way than we expect. So LLMs is a sort of a skill or reflex or intuition. And one sci-fi writer says that instinct or intelligence is a not yet formed instinct. And it's kind of right. So we can specialize our universal or general problem solving machines to solve particular tasks much more efficiently. And that's why narrow AI will be always the case, because specialized systems work for their domains more efficiently. But we didn't expect that such a specialized system can cover nearly the whole domain of natural language understanding. It was surprising. So yes, we are learning what can be done in different ways that we expect and what we believe in. And human intelligences are very similar to each other. And I wonder what will happen when we encounter some aliens with a completely different way of doing stuff. Maybe there is a convergence evolution. So like octopuses, we will solve the same task in a very different ways, but it will look quite similar. So ultimately, when we are talking about solving particular tasks, any intelligence will solve it in a similar way. But when we are talking about open world domain, the ways of solving tasks can appear completely different and unexpected. So yes, I believe that it will be eye-opening a route towards what the intelligence is and what our intelligence is as well.
Yeah. Look, very briefly, I think it's already happened. I think that we've defined human intelligence as the means through which we produce work. And if that is now being taken away, if our knowledge of science and physics and math and language and so forth is being done by a machine, then I think that we will redefine intelligence as something completely different that is not incumbent on the outputs that we produce. I think it'll be a lot more around perhaps emotional intelligence or, human connection, or perhaps it's creativity. I think that is going to happen. But maybe our definition of intelligence was flawed from the beginning. Who knows? And then I'll throw it back to you to what we were talking about backstage. Does that then leapfrog into what does freedom of choice mean? Do we have any today? Will we have any tomorrow? Does it mean that our relationships are going to be different between human to human? The fact that we can mimic emotions now in machines and AIs and AGIs, I think it transforms everything. But I think that the very fundamental definition of what it means to be intelligent was always based on us just knowing things. If we no longer need to know things to produce things, then yeah, for sure it changes it. Now it's on us to define what is it going to be. How are we going to value what's something that's worthwhile if it is no longer products and services or output?
Okay, quick round, last one. 100 years from now, how do you see society? Are you more optimistic or no? 100 years from now. Short answers.
Optimistic.
Okay, Alexey?
I'm a techno-optimist.
100% optimistic. I think we're going to live in a world where we no longer have to work, where we have universal basic income and the machines are doing everything. We're all just going to coexist and create and farm and do art and all sorts of things. It's going to be amazing.
So thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.